we start a little adventure off. And hi, guys. The Unsmooth Criminal here. We start our adventure off with three 4-year-olds. One a few months older than the other two, which the youngest is a purple-haired kid with earphone jacks on her ears. Yes. And finally, they are playing in a park. Finally, the middle kid's sister, light blue hair, yells, "Nagisa, it's time to go." And he goes, "Yes." And he runs over to his sister, hugging his sister because he loves his sister. And his sister is 8 years old, by the way. 3 years older than him, because his birthday is that day, and his present is going to be going to the quirk doctor to see what his quirk is. And his sister is the babysitter for Bakugo and Jiro. If anybody knows who Jiro is, just by her description of the earphone jacks, good on you. You should already know that. But she is to be left there. At the hospital, 5 minutes into it, the doctor pulls out a phone and says, "Sorry, the tests are running currently. I need to step out real quick." An emergency call came up. Normally it takes a minute or two for the tests to go through. It's been a minute or two. It's actually been less than a minute because, well, when they're quirkless, it comes back faster. And he says, "Found one. Can I keep him?" And the guy on the other line says, "Sure. Same old drill." So the hospital goes boom. The doctors, the patients, no one is found. We skip 11 years. And they say the doctor that has been doing some nasty things to Nagisa, and yes, this is going to be what if Deku was Nagisa, not a femme, says, "Okay, now use your skills and kill this person." And he shows a picture of a very sleep-deprived man, and Nagisa just nods his head and gets into character. The doctor watches on a monitor, and the hero agency has been planning something for a while, and they know that the villains that they've been trying to hunt have a top-tier assassin. So their plan is to catch the top-tier assassin in the middle of the act. So they have Aizawa playing coy with not noticing Nagisa, even though Nagisa is trying his best to stay out of sight and remain undetected. Aizawa, being the absolute shinobi ninja he is, already detected Nagisa. And he gives an arrogant, like, "This kid is nowhere even close to me." And then the kid just disappears. He can't detect the kid anymore. Every stealth hero has awoken an ability to sense people. Most normal fighters aren't tuned to that kind of stuff, but most stealth heroes have found a way to sense people. And Nagisa is no different than Aizawa. He can sense people too. And he can sense people's emotions. Very slight, by the breathing, the movements. He used his heightened senses from all the experiments the doctor did, because he is quirkless, to, yes, I'm pulling an Asta right now, to know what Aizawa was thinking. And Nagisa sensed that he was being tracked. He just didn't know from where. And he was being tracked by the person he's tracking. So now Nagisa oh god. He walks right into a trap. When he disappeared from Aizawa, there were 13 other stealth heroes that are very, very up there in age, but they're the best of the best. Some are even hired mercenaries that are based in just tracking people. And they surround Nagisa, and before Nagisa knew it, Aizawa walked up to him and said, "Hello." Then Nagisa was on the ground, unconscious, from a very swift chop. Well, actually, not a swift, very rough and huge hit to his head. After like the third, fourth try, they had to finally use a hammer. So they look at Nagisa and sees weird things on him. They see he has scales, his eyes are different, his ears are morphed slightly, so they're more pointed. He has fangs. His fingernails make claws. Like, he's completely mutated. Even his legs and his muscle structure are just completely different. They're more compressed. And they're doing all these tests, and they're keeping Nagisa knocked out with anesthetic. What they don't know is Nagisa is getting used to anesthetic. So one day, Recovery Girl walks in and sees that Nagisa isn't there. Well, at least on the table. Nagisa is currently in the bathroom looking for medication, or rummaging through the cabinets. And Recovery Girl walks up to him because she knows these kinds of people. They're looking for something specific. And she asks, "Can I help you?" And he goes, "Yes. Do you have any medication?" And she goes, "Yes." And she points at the cabinet that has all these different kinds of medication. And he goes, "It's not in there." She goes, "What kind of medications are you looking for?" And he goes, "The red pill." And she goes, "We don't have any red pills here." And he starts freaking out. And she's already pushed the panic button to tell the heroes that, yeah, he's awake and something bad's happening. That kind of panic button, not the, "Oh crap, he's going on a rampage" panic button. So Aizawa runs in and uses his scarf. Little does he know, Nagisa is strong enough to rip his scarf. One person was playing music outside the door, and this is from a teen idol that keeps her face hidden. People just know her by her voice. And Nagisa has pretty much photographic memory because of his just good genetics and also the experiments. So he knows everything that's happened to him. He knows what animals he's been injected with. He knows. He doesn't remember the faces of his friends. He only remembers the voices, especially her voice. Well, their voice, actually. Both female voices. He remembers his family's voices. Nejire, and Jiro. And he also remembers a loud voice that when he used to be little would always try to fight people because he thought he was the strongest, because he woke into his quirk a little earlier than most. And when he heard that, Aizawa obviously couldn't hear this music. Recovery Girl couldn't hear this music because it's from far down the hall. He heard the music barely, but he heard it clear as day. He immediately stopped panicking and started to cry. Full on bawl at this point. He doesn't know why. He just started bawling. And Aizawa looked at Recovery Girl and asked, "Are the tests done?" And she goes, "Yes." And he goes, "I will need to talk to you in a minute." And he starts walking out of the door, pulling Recovery Girl along, because he saw that Nagisa is now just in a sobbing mess on the bed, and Nagisa needs to be left alone. He closes the door, Nagisa starts panicking again. And they can hear the heart monitor shoot up again. And they open the door again, and Nagisa calms down again. And they're like, this is a soundproof room. Obviously, there's some kind of sound leaking from a room that's calming him down. And then the song ends. And the music stops. Just completely stops. Cuts out. And he just continues to bawl. But his heart starts pounding faster and faster and faster. Like a panic attack, but it's not a panic attack. Because he's having memories. But he can't see her face. All he can remember is the voice. And the hair color. So, Aizawa runs around looking at all the doors. 90% of the doors are shut and locked. Because this is a villain hospital. The only one currently that's open is for a mentally unstable patient who's having music played for him to calm him down every once in a while. And the door was cracked open. It's policy to keep the door cracked unless people are outside. Unless people are outside keeping an eye through the door. So if something bad happens, you can scream and everybody would know that you're in trouble. So he walks in and he asks the person who's playing the music to back up a song. And they go, sure. And they said this is the guy's favorite song. It's Bring Me to Life by I'll link it in the description. I can't say the band name. It's Bring Me to Life. But just think of it as in Jiro's voice, not her voice. That's what calmed Izuku down. And he says, when you're done with this patient, actually, know what's the name of the song? And he says the name of the song, Bring Me to Life, by the hidden masked singer, Hidden Idol. And he goes, thank you. So he runs back to Izuku's room, and the song was playing again. So Izuku calmed down again, and he pulled out his phone and he turned it on. And Izuku immediately winced at the volume of the volume. And he goes, okay, he's sensitive to sound. Turn it all the way down. And Izuku's not wincing at the sounds anymore, but is enjoying the music. And he goes, okay, is it just the song? Is the feeling of the song? We need to figure this out. So I pulled up another one of her songs. I don't know any more songs of hers. So, yeah. I'm going to list a song by a different artist. And I'll hopefully remember to put this one in the description. But it's Hero by Skillet. And Bakugo is also a masked singer, because they feel like if they get their voice out there, Deku will hear it. And they called him Deku, just because he's useless sometimes, but when it comes to music, he can name, write, and choreograph music really well. And when it comes to fighting, he could take people down really quickly. Because ever since he was little, he's been interested in martial arts. He was into martial arts since he was 3. So he had 2 years of training from when he was 3. And he was a child prodigy at martial arts. And after a few days of them seeing what his reaction to different music is, they found out the singer, the male singer, and the female singer are the ones that calm him down. And he's given nicknames to the singers: Purple Hair and Pomeranian. And Aizawa is completely confused about these nicknames. So he contacts the singers if he could have a private conversation with them, seeing them face to face. He would obviously keep this confidential, so because he's a hero, he has a little bit more leeway to this. And Bakugo says no. Jiro, on the other hand, says on one condition: I get to keep this on record for myself, and if this ever gets leaked to the public, I can take legal action against you. And he's like, that's completely fine. So we skip a few days. Nagisa has calmed down significantly. He's being really lenient towards people, and he looks so depressed. And finally, Recovery Girl, this is the same time that the interview is going on, asks him why is he so depressed, and he goes, my genetics are unstable. And she's like, what? He goes, yeah, the red pill is what keeps me stable. And she goes, your genetics aren't unstable. We've been keeping an eye on all your vital signs, including your genetic code, because we saw that there's more than just one genetic code in there, and nothing's wrong. His eyes widen, and he goes, but doctor said that, and Recovery goes, yeah, nothing's wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. And he goes back into his shell. Well, he goes back in a shell of this, and the music's playing 24/7. And that's the only way to keep him calm without freaking him out. But we skip an hour. Aizawa runs into the room and asks, do you remember the name Jiro? And he goes, no. And he goes, okay. How about the name Bakugo? And he goes, no. He goes, okay. How about a face? And he turns the camera around, and Jiro starts bawling. And she pulls out her phone and immediately calls Bakugo. And Bakugo answers the phone, being like, what is it? And she's like, it's him. And his eyes widen, and she points him at the computer, and it shows the face of Nagisa. And he says, you look like a Pomeranian. And Jiro starts to giggle at that, because she said the same thing one time. And he starts yelling, and at this point, Aizawa knows to turn it down whenever noise spikes. And Jiro, when she giggled, Nagisa is heart, they saw it on the monitor skip a beat. Literally. They're like, okay, we need to get them in the same room. And he's like, okay, I'll be right back. He runs out of the room, not holding the computer. He put that down. He grabs the computer charger, plugs into the computer because it's currently on low battery on this active call, and then runs back out of the room to call somebody. He calls a Nezu saying, I need your help. We have a way to open up a very, very, very important person, but I need your help getting him open. And he's like, what can I do? He's like, I need you to find two people. Bakugo Katsuki and, oh God, Kokyo Jiro. Probably not our last name. Just Jiro. And he goes, okay, I will. So later, Jiro's parents get a call from Nezu. He's like, I'm the principal of UA. I would like for to interview your children because I've seen their records and I've done a little digging and I put it together that they're the your child's the masked singer, and I would like to talk to them about coming to UA. And he pulls up a BS lie about her getting a full ride scholarship to UA because of their singing careers and the potential of being a face for heroes. That's completely BS. So later that day, Nezu drives up in pretty much a limousine with Bakugo in the back. Jiro walks out and she's dressed in her normal clothes, the leather jacket and skirt combo, which was really weird that one episode. But I prefer her leather jacket and jeans combo. So let me change that. Leather jacket and jeans combo. And Nezu says, okay, what I told your parents was an absolute lie. You're getting a full ride scholarship to UA because you are the only people that can calm down a specific person that I would like to rehabilitate at UA. And Bakugo's like, so I'm getting into UA. And he goes, yes, full ride, all 4 years at UA. And he goes, cool, I'm in. And Jiro's like, what? Why are we the only ones who calm him down? He goes, apparently your voices are the only voices that he actually remembers. And Jiro goes, is it Nagisa? And he goes, who? And she goes, Nagisa Hado. Nejire's brother that went missing a few years ago. Or actually more than a few years ago. 11. Bakugo's like, nah, that nerd probably died. She's like, shut up, or I'll blast you out of this car. He goes, yes, ma'am. Jiro's personality changed a little bit, by the way. At least when it comes to Nagisa. Any other person, and Jiro's perfectly fine with him talking down on. Not quite perfectly fine, but fine with general talking down on. So, after 10, 20, maybe 30, even 30 minutes of them driving, Nezu has given them a complete rundown of the situation and how they fit into the situation. And Bakugo goes, yeah, no. He's not going to like me. And Jiro goes, if it's Nagisa, he'll like you. And he goes, he's dead. We both agreed that he's dead 5 years ago. And she goes, yes, but you saw him in person. And they start arguing. Jiro is still holding out hope that this is Nagisa. Baku's given up hope that his best friend and is alive. Because 5 years ago, they came up with a dead body that had the same DNA signature as Nagisa. Which is not Nagisa. Obviously. So, he's given up hope. Jiro hasn't. Duh. We go back to the start of the conversation for Aizawa. And this is a few days in the past. And he's recording this entire thing, and he says he would email it to her because she kind of can't record it on her laptop. It's full of music. And he goes, that's fine, I'll send it to you. And she goes, thank you. Because he respects privacy. He's not going to ruin somebody's career or personal life because of one incident. So he has asked her a few questions. Who are you, Jiro? What's your quirk? The basic questions that heroes ask when they're asking someone's questions. And he says, what is your connection with blue hair? And she's like, what? And he goes, what is your connection with a kid that has blue hair? And she goes, my sister figure. She's obviously not my sister because she comes from a different family, but she's like a sister to me, and her brother was my closest friend when I last saw him. And he goes, okay, what was her brother's name? And she goes, Nagisa. And he goes, okay then. That's a very unique name. And she goes, yeah. He looks like a girl 90% of the time. And his eyes widen. And he goes, okay. Does he know martial arts? And she goes, yeah, he was a martial arts prodigy when he was little. Why? And he goes, okay, can you recognize his face if he was 11 years older? And she goes, yeah. Why wouldn't I recognize my best friend's face? And he goes, okay, be right back. That's when he ran to That's when he ran to the room to set up a talk with them real quickly to see the confirmation. And finally, they get to the hospital where Nagisa has been restrained to the bed because the people around him are making too much noise for him to hear the music, and it's hurting his ears. So they put headphones on him and barely have any noise coming out of the headphones. If you or I were listening to it, it would sound like whispers, but it's really loud in his ears. And the people around him are currently putting in a surround sound system so he could calm down faster. Because when it's coming from one direction, he needs to look at that direction to focus on the music. So there's a lot of movement and action going around him, and he's trying to leave the room. So they had to use a ball and chain to hold him there. They cuffed him originally. He snapped the cuffs really easily. Then they got one of those cast iron ball and chains, a 5-kilogram ball and chain. The ball is obviously at the bottom floor. He's moved to the bottom floor underground in one of the max security places. If that gets so much as scratched, high voltage electricity gets shot through the chain, and an entire machine gun of sleep darts gets unloaded on him. That's if he physically scratches it. Now, if he's just dragging it along the floor, walking around, perfectly fine. But if he physically goes to scratch it, he will get 1 million volts of electricity in an instant shoot through him. Obviously not through his heart to kill him, just through his legs. Because, duh, the one that has the ball and chain has a rubber insult, so it actually shoots up and down so he can't run. If you guys know what I'm talking about, good on you. I'm going to give you a little bit of lesson for energy. If you have something blocking your path on your right foot and you shoot electricity into your right foot, it's going to go through you because it's easier than going through rubber. The rubber insert on your foot. Now, if your right arm is touching something and you get shocked and you're touching something else on your left arm, the electricity goes through both your arms because it's the fastest way to get out. Or it's the easiest way to get out of your body. A little bit of energy knowledge for you. Now, we get to the point where Nezu has inputted the code to the elevator. Jiro and Bakugo are standing behind him. Bakugo's just a little bit shorter. Jiro's just a little bit taller. They're at the same height in this one. Nagisa is short compared to them. They're both 5'6". Nagisa's 5 foot. Yeah. And don't tell me that's not their actual heights. That's their height in this UA. Or AU. Alternate universe. So yeah. If you guys don't like it, sorry. So we get to the room and he's like, okay, deactivating the measures. And he adds in the 30-digit number combination, which Bakugo memorized. Yes, he's the karma of this world. He goes, why is it that? And he goes, what do you mean? And he goes, it's the longitude and latitude of all 4 corners of UA. And Nezu looks at him and goes, how do you know that? And he goes, I've done my research. And Jiro starts laughing because Bakugo is obsessed with UA in this one. And he'll do it nothing to get inside UA. So after 10 seconds, he's like, okay, now I can go in. After the conversation, which lasted like a minute, he waited exactly 70 seconds for all the measures to deactivate, or he'd become a pincushion for sleep darts. They walk in. Nezu clicks a button on a remote. 3 chairs pop out. 1 toddler size, because he's very small. And he prefers to be close to the ground so he can run if needed. And he says, okay, now that I have all 3 of you here, young men. And Nagisa looks at him, and he's talking really softly. Jiro barely hears him with her enhanced hearing. And the last one, he's like, oi, speak up. Once he said, oi, Nagisa flinched. When he said, speak up, Nagisa already had a claw to his throat. And Nezu's like, calm down. We're not here to hurt you. I'm here for a proposition. You may not like it, but this is the only choice you have. or do you want to be stuck here for the rest of your life? And the people who installed the surround sound have already left. So Nezu turns on a song, Hero by Skillet. And Jiro hears it perfectly fine. Bakugo can hear whispers, and Nagisa hears it clear as day, like it was playing in headphones right on him. So Nagisa is now calming down. Jiro asks, so why are you playing our music? And Nezu says, it's not the music, it's the voices that calm him down. And Nagisa heard her speak for the first time. On instinct, he runs and hugs her. On instinct. He doesn't know why he's doing it, he just did it. And he starts to cry. Like, not the sad ball, oh boo-hoo, I just had a breakup. No. Like your parents died in front of you, your dog died in front of you, and the rest of your family has disowned you. That kind of sadness. Sorry for being so dark, but it's like he found his world. The only place that he feels safe, he's found it. With just a few words from Jiro. And Nezu goes, that is why I brought you along. Now, young man, when you're done crying, I will give you the proposition. After an hour of him just crying on Jiro's shoulder, he looks sleepy. And Nezu goes, oh my god, he's finally falling asleep. And Jiro goes, what do you mean? And he goes, he's not slept a single night here for the past few weeks. And Jiro's eyes widen, going, what? At that sight, at that sound of what? Nagisa flashes awake again. And she just pats his head very softly, and he puts his head back down. On her lap, obviously. And falls back asleep. And Jiro starts smiling. And Bakugo whispers, to where he could barely hear it. And he goes, okay, now, I agreed to this already, so does that force him into a contract? And he goes, well, there was only one possibility of him joining. I wouldn't have let him decline. So, yeah, kind of forces him to a contract. Sorry, but you're stuck here for a while. And Jiro goes, what? And he goes, yeah, we're currently building the dorms for UA because of him. So, oh, and by the way, his kill count is 999 people. Just a little tip for you. See you later. And he walks out with Bakugo, because Bakugo saw him get up and like, yeah, I'm going with you. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please consider hitting that like button. And if you guys are new to my content and you want to see more of this, subscribe, hit that bell icon. I promised a one-shot for Shiro Senpai, a really good YouTuber. I suggest you go check her out. Both ways. That's up for you to decide. But anyway, if you want to look at any more of my content, go for it. My best content that I've made so far was probably the Baker What If, What if Deku was a baker? One shot. Best what if possible. I'm planning on adding more levels. Well, negative levels, because I already added, more negative levels. Yeah, especially for the Halloween one. I'm planning on making What If Deku Was a Baker, Part 3. Because I made a Mother's Day special. Yeah, that one was good. So, anyway, if you guys like my content, consider subscribing and hitting the like button. And if you haven't already, brain fart. I'll be adding a link to my Discord if you want to join the Discord. When you become top 10 thug, there's a chance, and a very low chance, of you becoming an admin. I have Howl, I have Grimlock, I have Mina, and I have Sis for the pictures. She's the picture wizard. Howl, because he's a picture wizard too. He's mainly for that. Oh, we have Ken Kaneki for the music, for people who get inspiration from music for me. Thanks to all of you. Oh, and Mina. Stop making Dobby emojis, please. Please stop. That's my only request. Please stop. I know you love Dobby. I know you want to marry Dobby, but please stop. Anyway. If you have any questions about the server, consider hitting up Grimlock, me, Mina, or Virus, as some people like to know him now as. So, we will try to help you as fast as possible. I'm currently on a limbo state where I pretty much never go on to the server because I have otherworldly activities on the real life to do. So I'm pretty much never there. I want to be on there more often, but I'm currently trying to get to a point where I can just relax and have a good day off every single day. But that's going to take a while, so I might not be on there very often. I'm going to restate this again and again and again because I keep forgetting that I restated this. But consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. And check out Shiro Senpai, because I made a bet with her, or I made a deal, actually, not a bet. A bet would imply that I risked something. I didn't risk anything. Well, and she didn't risk anything either. But I made a deal with her that if she added whore to the end of Uraraka's name, then I would make this what if. So, and just by the outcome of this what if, you could see what happened. So, by the way, Uraraka is going to be a whore in this one. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Talk to you guys later. Oh, my phone's stuck in my pocket. Hold on. Yeah. Bye.